Frozen, just taking a look. Just want to make sure. Does it sound a little bit better? Appreciate that. All right. So yeah, that's very true. We're still gonna. I'm gonna adjust one more thing here. And can you hear everybody through? Go ahead, old school, and just keep talking about your video game, so that way we can test on Twitch that it's coming through. Command. Now that I think about it, I'm trying to remember that game. I would say probably for. And I lost all the sound from me, so give me just a few minutes. You guys keep running. I'll be with you momentarily. It'd be interesting as we travel across the country with Jason and see how this is going to work. All right, so I got my audio back. That's the good news. Easy peasy fixie. We'll get this all working out here eventually, guys. That's why we got to do a few episodes. And I just lost Frozen again. Why did I lose Frozen? Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't lose you. You're just a little low on that one. All right. So, did you guys catch my missile command? Or I'm sorry. Or if you guys added any more, I did miss that. But I think we're good and running again. Is that correct, Frozen? We're not rambling. This is good shit right here. Oh, no, we're rambling. That's kind of what we do. It's still good shit though. Yeah, and I think whatever you did got rid of the lag because I'm hearing you a lot quicker. I am too. So that's great news. Again, for everyone that just joined in, I do apologize for if you guys didn't have any audio. Um, I'll kind of give you a quick synopsis again. We are going over our underrated category, and we are going to bring up a bunch of them. We gave you an example, starting with the NFL. Frozen just joined us, and so then we quickly switched over to some video games. We'll continue that one. But again, I am Calypso, old school fat man here. Not even a guest anymore. Actually, the truth is, he's the host. I'm the co-host. I'm the monkey behind the cameras. And then Frozen is our guest who joins us pretty much, hey, well, 2 out of 2. So I'm going to say he's almost becoming co host as well. True, but he's on. He's that guy. He's that guy whose name has taken off the guest starring. Yeah. Very true. And again, guys, I do apologize. You're probably going to hear a whole lot of background noise. I'm outside. It's the truth. We're finishing the final packing of our 3 vehicles and trailer. And so we're outside. I got the dogs. I got all the cars. The audio is going to be crap for a little bit, but do keep with me. Keep up with all the feedback, and I'm gonna keep working on it as best I can. In fact, when we get to do it when you're actually on the road, it's going to be kind of interesting. It is. Well, I think it might be better. I have no idea why that dog's barking right now. There's like no one here. No idea. But I'll try to figure all that out in the meantime. Excuse me just a moment. I'll be right back. You guys continue with the video games. That's hilarious, man. That dude is juggling right now. He's got things going. And all he's doing, folks, we don't realize we're juggling like 8 balls right now. Right. As I sit my fat ass in my chair, first world problems.
I don't know what he did to the sound, but it turned everyone to chipmunk voices.
Really?
Yeah, we sound like the chipmunks.
On which ones?
Well, I'm only looking at Twitch, so I don't know if it's like it's the same on the other platforms.
Cool, man. I've always wanted to be a chip.
Hey, at least people can hear us. Now you gotta fix the pitch.
Man, I'm glad y'all know what you're doing, because I sure as hell know.
I'd have to look at it. I don't know what he's working with.
If we're talking about now, I'm gonna give you an old school game. I think it's underrated.
What they got like? Like cards only.
Yeah, shit, man. Classic. Tell you, you can get in more fights playing classic with your family than any other game. So is the talk like underrated? Is the talk underrated games, board games, card games? That's true. Well, people are still cards again. I love Cards Against Humanity. I love What You Meme. I love all those kind of games. I think people always talk about those as being the great part. If you want to have fun, just play Uno. Right. Well, and then see that's my problem with Uno though. There are 7 billion house rules, and no one knows the rules of that game anymore. And like I've actually challenged students, I've challenged my family. It's very similar to Monopoly. No one knows the original rules anymore. No. No, they don't get screwed over in every game. You saw blackjack, poker, things like that. See, you almost have to have an ace. Like a pair of aces, the whole beats a pair of kings. I like the fact where the face cards win, man. Put that ace down at the bottom. Tired of the aces. Now see, my family, we actually play a game called Rummy and Push Rummy, two separate games actually. Lots of variations, obviously, again, very similar to house rules. But we created a house rule for our teams when we play. We call it Yummy. And the reason why we call it Yummy is because we mix part of the rules of Yahtzee with Rummy. And the part that we mix is we take Yahtzee where you roll your dice, and then depending on what you have, you can put your points in a certain spot in the Yahtzee categories. Well, in Push Rummy, you have six categories that you're supposed to fill, and usually you go in order: two sets of three, a set of three, run of four, and so on and so forth. Well, when we added that rule to it, now it's like depending on the cards in your hand, you get to go after whatever you want to. You're not forced to go after something specific. And what we've learned by adding this rule is it creates a whole lot more chaos and a whole lot more arguments. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mao. But here's the thing: I would say Mao is underrated because I don't think enough people really know that game. Oh no 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 no! You can't look it up. You can't look it up. That you already break the rules if you look it up. You cannot look it up. You have to play it. That's the only way.
Oh my god.
You
No.
you you can't look it up, man. Put it down. Listen, Mao is a card game of the shedding family. Aim is to get rid of all the cards in hand without breaking certain. Stop! Stop! You're ruining the game. You can't tell people, man. You can't tell people. You can't do it. Look, no, no. Look, if you're going to look it up, look to the rules first before you start reading. All right. Well, he looks up the rules to the game Mount. Oh my god, you can't play this game. Number two. Hey, hey, shush, shush! You can't say anything. You're ruining it. So, so the thing about it is, I had some students teach me that game. It's a very hard game. I had the students teach me the game because we were in class one day and they were like, "Oh, have you ever played Mount?" I was like, "No," and they set me down and they taught me this game, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! This is not a real game." And then after they just yeah, and after they kept beating me over and over and over, I'm like, "What in the world?" And so as soon as I finally figured out what the rules were, and I started to do some more research after that, I first thing I did was came home and taught my family that, and yeah, we're not allowed to play that game in this house anymore. Well, I'm trying to make sure I got a little puppy. I say little sarcastically. Nice little sized German Shepherd that is trying to get my attention. And unfortunately, like my kids, that's just not how that works. You can't just bark at me. I do not respond too well to that. So I try to keep it muted just so that way it's not bothering anybody else. Hey, my wife barking at me is a completely different story. No, 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 no. Don't you dare give me 27 years. Now it's selective hearing. From the time you've been married, it's been selective. I've been married 22. Trust me, I get it. Oh. All right, so what I was gonna say, old school. You've got some news for fool me once, and there it is. You want to talk a little bit about it?
Ass warmers. Love it.
I think you bring up our next underrated topic, like underrated. I want to say, like actual makes of cars. Like you have a Toyota. I definitely don't think Toyota is going to hit underrated, but I think that brings up a really good point. For me, when we moved to Washington, I had this little GMC Envoy. I loved that freaking car, and I ended up having to get rid of it because when we were moving, it was just too small in order to move our family, and so we ended up with a Ford Expedition, and that truck, SUV, whatever you want to call it, absolutely lasted us a long freaking time, a lot longer than I expected. And again, I'm not saying Ford belongs in an underrated because I mean Ford's probably what 40% of the vehicles being driven is my guess. And I'm not going to look up that stat, but my guess is that's, you know, Ford's used a lot. But my underrated is actually GMC. I have fallen a whole lot more in love with them now. Just I now have a GMC Yukon Denali. The Envoy I loved, and it was because of that Envoy that I started getting more into GMCs. But let's hear it. Like, what's some underrated cars for you?
That's it.
The DeLorean. I love it. I don't know if underrated because there is definitely a cult following that would take that more than anything else. Yeah. Okay. What was that 14? I will say that that does a bit surprise me. I figured it was a little bit different. So you're saying GM's the highest?
Yeah, GM's high, but you've also with GM having the one deal.
So that's true. Like if we took a look at like Dodge and Chevy and all of those and we broke those down, just did not put it in that GM category. I'm
Exactly.
curious how that might change things.
Yeah.
Well, they had to do that just so they weren't considered a monopoly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I never looked at GM and considered having all of them under that umbrella. I usually try to break it out to the major, makes of them, I guess I can say.
Yeah.
So
I'm
then,
trying to Atlantis is.
well, now I'm curious. What would you say would be more underrated between a car, SUV, truck, or insert other vehicle?
Say again?
So, what would you say would be the most underrated when it came to car, truck, SUV, or other body type like hatchback or coupe or whatever?
I still think the most underrated all vehicles are small trucks. I think like Tacomas, things like that. There's so many people that want to drive the big knobby truck. We call them the small pecker group.
Have you seen those Japanese sandbar trucks?
Love those things, man. They're so
So cute.
good. I don't
He's
fit
so
in them, but
cute.
they're cool.
I get look, and this isn't a masculine thing. People can say what they want. I don't give a damn. But I don't want my truck to be cute.
I get it. I get it. I
Yeah,
think it's designed to just get through the small roads of Japan, but
Yeah.
yeah.
well, Chase, just like when we're talking, it's like Shelly and Kate, or Shelly especially. It must be expensive. She always says it must be expensive to have a small penis because she said 9 times out of 10 when she's falling with a big old knobby tired lifted off the ground, got to use a ladder to climb into it. She goes, a dude jumps out of it. It's like 5'6".
Hold on. Wait though. I actually challenge you one better. I see more women coming up out of there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
We
oh yeah.
actually, Dad and I, just the other day, we were driving down the street and we saw that exactly what you described. That thing had to have been like, I don't know, 2, 3 feet up in the air. And like, I needed a ladder to try to climb into that thing. But I need a ladder to climb in most things. I am a dwarf. All of a sudden, the door opens up. And I was like, gee, I wonder what he's making up for, because I'm thinking Lord Farquaad, of course. And sure enough, bam, out comes this woman, and I was like, good on her. Holy crap, I bet she's got a little man, though.
It's a power thing.
It's a lot of country areas out here that
Yeah, and we always told them it's a power thing. When somebody's got one of those, they don't like. I was joke when you don't have something to tow. I go, you like my truck? I go, what do you tow? He's like, nothing. I'm like, why not? Why are you wasting gas in that truck?
Yeah. What do you need that
Like,
4x4 and all that? Yeah, I agree.
they don't have power. People that don't have a lot of power in their lives, they want to have that extra power. And yeah, that would be an interesting. I'm gonna tell Katie to make that into a clinical study for
Ooh,
psychiatry.
I like that.
use power.
Yeah.
Well, people that feel like they don't have it. Like, I'm not saying you're not a powerful person because I don't want people going, oh, you say I don't have any power. That's not it. But maybe in your life, you work for someone. You feel like you don't have the power at home in your marriage, something like that. So get that big ass truck and you go driving, hyper offensively so that you can feel like you have power.
I got one more that I would like to throw in
Okay.
general chat. Working life size Bugatti Chiron made from Lego entirely.
That'd be cool.
I
Yeah.
think it's 99% Lego, and it's got like those electric Lego things that make it. I think the max miles per hour is 18. Still, still quite a bit for being made entirely of Lego.
Well,
hey man, you could drive around the 55 plus community and you stay within the speed limit.
true. Did you have you guys actually heard the new flying car? I say new because it's not the first one. We had one back in the 50s.
Recently approved by I don't know what company it was.
Yeah, and it's you can actually order now. You got to pay a whole lot of money to do it. But the fact that we're getting closer and closer to the Jetsons, man, that's got to feel good.
I'm into it, man. I want to be able to put a little dome over my wife when I'm dropping her off and just send her down on her little, like you sent down Judy or Jane or whatever.
They're gonna have to make so like many different requirements to have a license for that, because could you imagine running out of fuel in the middle of the air and it just drops in somebody's house and kills somebody? Like,
woo! And that's a good point because I mean, think about it. We run out of gas all the time, and now electric cars are having issues too. So absolutely, just I imagine how scary that's going to be if you just drop out of the air like that.
they'd have to have like
Yeah, pretty good.
parachute that'll let you glide down or something. I don't know. That jeez.
I got a little fun fact for you guys on the Jetsons.
Yes.
So George Jetson and Jane Jetson, okay, are 40 and 33 respectively. George is 40, Jane is 33.
Okay.
Their oldest child is Judy, who is 16, which would mean that Jane was between 16 and 17 when she was pregnant with her.
Yes.
And George was 24 when he got her impregnated.
Well,
so either laws have changed or George should have been in jail at that.
Well, it depends on what state he lived in, because statutory rape wouldn't have counted at 17 in some states.
That's true. That's true. I just always found that interesting when they said that. I'm like, really? So she was a high school girl dating a 24-year-old, and yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
out of high school, if high school wasn't that age at that time.
There you go. And maybe in the future they only go till 16.
Well, I mean, you can also consider the fact age is only a problem when you're in school. Once you get to that 18 mark, which by the way, I still don't understand why 18 is the mark. Why is it if I'm 17 years old, 364 days, I can't make my own decisions, but wait 24 more hours and all of a sudden I can make all the decisions in the world for myself? I don't know, and I definitely did not receive all that maturity in that 24 hours. But we only really worry about age when it comes to that.
I went to bed at 17 and 364, and I was an absolute fucking dumbass. I woke up the next morning and I was in like, exactly. I don't know what you're talking about, but.
Well, I mean, in that same case, then technically, and I'll put it out there, that means my wife had the same thing because my wife is older than me. I was still in school, so then that means she should be arrested. Now, she's not as old as George Jetson yet. I mean,
it doesn't matter. That's that double standard, Chase.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
It doesn't matter because you hear all the time about these, younger men, older. That's not a double standard. It's cougar's cool. That's awesome. You just can't be a dirty old man.
Well, that's like that age-old joke where, like, if a man is hitting on a woman in the bar and then sleeps with her, it's rape. But if a woman's hitting on a man in the bar and then sleeps with him, well, that's called a date and a good time.
Yeah. Well, here's the being a girl dad. I watch out. I wouldn't want my daughter doing that. I mean, it would creep me out.
Yeah.
It would like you see people. My daughters are 22 and 23. I'm almost 50, but it's a 40-year-old guy.
Yeah.
That would creep me out. Like you bring him home. Like, what are you talking to my daughter for?
It's very interesting.
You're 40. She's 22. You could have literally been her parent. That's weird for me. Now, doesn't matter because I see that society all the time. My wife's parents were 17 years difference.
Yeah.
And it never made a difference. It never even mattered to me.
So my question is, that must have been two things then. Either it's because it's your daughter which causes that thing, or at some point the age just doesn't matter to you. So like, for example, if your daughter is 40 and she's dating a 60-year-old, does that still matter to you? So then it's
And
not.
that's what's so funny because I think she got over that. And I don't know, my daughters are pretty mature. You were on the nose when you said that. It's because it's my kid.
What's up, love? My German Shepherd's.
Shit, I'm not getting called love. Thanks, man.
Oh, it's all right. So yeah, interesting enough. What about, Frozen? You're in a unique situation. What do you feel about age?
I think there's definitely a lot of instinctual survival instinct like things that our brains go through or like recognize that we don't even actually think about because it doesn't run through our mind. It's just in the code of our being, and we can't like figure out why it's like that. I mean, we can make assumptions and guesses, but it's all got to be for just surviving and everything like that. I don't know. I think laws sometimes can blur the lines or make things difficult to decipher what's right and wrong. Especially like, I mean, in my opinion, I think that you really probably shouldn't be dating anybody that's still in high school if you're out of high school. But there's definitely those weird instances where it's like they were talking, you were talking with them when you were in high school with them, and then you graduated. There's those weird cases that make it difficult to really pinpoint this is how it should be exactly every single time. It's just really weird.
I
My wife graduated 2 years after me. And it's kind of funny because people, we brought this topic up and they go, well, you're in college, you're 19, and she was in her junior year. Would you have dated her? I was like, well, no. I said, why? I said, she's a high school kid. At that point, and it wasn't like she was probably more mature. I say
Yeah.
probably bullshit. She was more mature than I was. I was a college football player. That's got to be some of the most immature people on the planet. Because I was one. I could say that. I'm not talking trash. I could say,
I
well,
think
I'm
you could
mature.
say I think you could say college and high school athletics. I mean, we're just immature. All athletes are. We have it in us.
Yeah, well, I'm being a coach. It's kept me immature. I'm almost 50 and I act like I'm 18. So I think it's just being involved in athletics. It keeps you young, allows you to act immature.
Well, I mean, talking back to what Frozen just said, I mean, I think you're right. There are definitely laws, regulations, or something, whatever you want to call them, that kind of blur the lines for us. But the thing I kind of throw back at you, not in a negative way, is like, think about it. On your fan belt, it literally tells you to turn off your car before you change it. And the reason why that happened is because someone was dumb enough to actually try to change their fan belt while the engine was running, and now they sued somebody. And I think the same thing goes back, although may seem foolish, to like dating and age and rape and all those taboo categories. And it ties into what we were saying about what is it about 17 to 18 that all of a sudden this maturity happens that you can make all these life decisions differently than you did just 24 hours ago.
Right. And I think that it's mainly like a heads up to the person who is becoming 18 that hey, you are responsible for yourself now. Your parents aren't, supposed to be watching out for you as much. You got to be more careful than you ever were. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my perspective.
I mean,
Hey,
18.
can I share my screen and show you guys something?
Yes, you'll be able to show us, but I don't have it set up to share to the stream yet.
Okay, but I'm going to share you guys something. I'm going to show you this.
Okay.
As to share screen. Okay.
Hey, we don't want to see that porn. Come on now. Actually, we lied. We do. Go ahead and play it.
Can you see it? Oh my
You got to share it on actual Discord.
What? Discord?
And there's,
hold on.
yeah, you're good.
You can see it now?
No.
No, you have to in Discord. There's where your camera option was.
There it is. It's going in. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna make it so we can actually see it. Maybe.
This is why. I'm gonna leave the sound off.
Wait, hold on. Don't play it yet. I'm trying to make a change to it. Don't play it yet.
I am not playing.
I'm gonna adjust it. It's gonna be just another moment. We're changing things here on the fly. We're gonna get booted off from our own second episode of podcast here. And bam, there we go. So we can see it on the stream now. Says in honor of Reese Kelso, who made the original bet to me, I bet you I can change a VW belt in 5 seconds. All right, go ahead and play it.
Okay, so here you go. This is why they have that warning on there. Because I remember being in high school and seeing people do this.
Lost that first bet, but learned how it's done. 1967 Volkswagen Beetle. All right, so we got definitely see it on. He's got a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. Puts it right.
Wow.
Dude, no joke.
No joke. And that's why they have to do it. Because you have to watch those fingers.
Yeah.
You let that thing go up, it takes it off, and then you have to slow down the top one because the car's still running.
Yeah.
And you put it back. Isn't that crazy? So with serpentine belts and blow up their engine.
Wow.
So
But
I just thought that was interesting, man. I had to share that with you.
that is, no, I'm glad you shared that with us. Like I agree with you. There's 100% that would be a reason why they got to put those things on there. And I think that's why they have the issues for like laws and when that stuff's happening. So, for everyone still on the stream, we'll adjust that screen here in just a moment. We'll get Fat Man back in the screen here. But you guys, man, that.
Oh, sorry, man. I just shut it off. My bad.
No, you're all good. We're fixed. We're all right.
Okay, well, I'm doing that. Here's your deal when you talk about the age. Well, why is it this, that, and the other? You got to have a baseline somewhere.
Well, that was going to be my next question for you guys. Like,
You have to have a baseline somewhere. There's 16-year-olds I would trust more than 24-year-olds.
well, and yeah, and that's what I mean. So that brought me to my question of like 18 is such an outdated. It's very that started a long time ago, and we're talking the year the age of 18, where you can smoke, you can fight for your country, you can't drink, you can't sleep with your girlfriend that you had the same last year, who happens to now be a senior instead of a junior. Like, is it time that we revisit that particular age thing? Do we have to start taking like common sense or IQ tests to be able to do this? Like, what do you guys think needs to be done, or do you think 18 is still the right way to go?
One thing that just crossed my mind when you said the age of smoking, I think it's actually 21 now, isn't it?
Yeah, 21 for nicotine.
All right, so I mean, great point. If that's changed to 21, why is it all of a sudden or I guess not all of a sudden, like I said, it's been around for a while. Why have we not looked at kids?
The other things that are 18.
Exactly. Like, why aren't you still considered a kid if you are that 18 years age, if you can't do some of that stuff? But again, I will argue, if I'm good enough to fight for my country, I should be able to do a couple of the other things too.
Yeah, I think interesting. I mean, if it were made that you'd have to be outside of high school, then I mean, people drop high school all the time, so that kind of makes that hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could make like a competence test that people have to take. I mean, that'd be ridiculous, but people could just, I don't know, lie on that test. People lie on tests all the time.
Sure.
I mean, age is a like factual thing that's written in your life that they have record of. So that's something you can't really lie about. I mean, you can.
I was gonna say, you can ask any baseball player. You can lie about your age all the time.
Right. But then that gets validity check when you go in and they check that and stuff. But yeah, I don't. That's a good question.
We had one where, because I was talking to somebody and they said, well, he was an 18-year-old who was in the military, and he was like, well, I'm fighting. I can go and fight and die, but I can't drink. And I said, I've always been a proponent of, if you're in the military, you are of drinking age. Once you have that ID, you're of drinking age. Now, you can find people that are going to fake IDs, but fake IDs anyway.
Yep.
I do feel that when especially you're on base, you are military personnel, you should be allowed to go and have a beer with your buddies.
Now let's be truthful. If you're on base, I'm willing to bet. What? 99%. You're on base, you're drinking. Like that.
Yeah.
There's a little bit different rules on that, and I think that's okay, because again, you're putting your life on the line. You need some decompression. And I'm not saying that alcohol is the only way to go about it. There's obviously some much better vices out there, but there's a reason why adults look so forward to getting off work and having a whiskey or having a glass of wine or whatever. So yeah, to me, I have no issues with our military drinking because the one thing I will say is they know there is a right place and time.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. It's like my dad was a pilot in the army, and it was funny because my dad likes whiskey better than anybody, but he was staunch about. I was like, hey, we could do this. He goes, no, I gotta fly. He goes, I'm flying tomorrow. I go, yeah, tomorrow. He goes, 12 hours from Buffalo Throttle, man. He goes, I don't touch it. He said, it's too big a deal. I could hurt too many people by being inconsiderate, being stupid. He goes, it's a solid rule with me. There's no alcohol 12 hours from Buffalo Throttle.
I, and as an athlete, you probably had like one of those old rules where like you're not supposed to have sex before the game, the big game or whatever. Like, did you have that, or was that like that wasn't really mentioned when you were going through?
I mean, I was just going to have sex, period. So I didn't really care.
Yeah.
Days before a game, or it could have been 10 minutes. I was just so happy that I was thinking.
I don't know. The only instance I could think of that relates to that was there's a professional player called who used to be called IBDW, which stands for IB doing work. He's
Yep.
now Cody Schwab in the melee scene, and he said after he won Summit, which was a couple of years ago, he had said, "I only won this tournament because I had sex with my girlfriend right before the tournament, and all credit goes to her." And I was like, "What the hell?"
Hey.
I showed up for training camp, which is hoping you broke those legs. I'm like, damn right, I did. I'm going to be coach.
Yeah.
I'm trying to have sex with my wife. We're doing this. Good. You go ahead and run me on me right now. You go ahead and there's about 90 other dudes who would trade places with me to have had that experience where they showed up.
True. No, I mean,
So,
all right. So, I mean, I definitely let's keep the categories going. I think we ventured pretty far away from underrated on that one, but
Well, I
definitely
mean,
some
sex
stuff we
before
needed to
having a
talk about.
game, underrated, right?
not overrated
No,
at all.
it's not underrated. Sex before the
At
game
all.
is not underrated. You heard it here. Fool me once from Old School Fat Man.
Not overrated.
Your quote board.
People try to sell me dessert. Oh, yeah, there's chocolate dessert. It's called better than sex. I'm like, don't even fucking bring it because it's not.
Yeah. How dare you give me false advertisement?
There's no such thing as sex. No, I did say that to a waiter one time. He said, oh, it's called better than sex. And I go, there's no such fucking thing as better than sex. And the lady at the table next to me walked over and just high-fived me. She's like, I agree wholeheartedly. Like, thank you. Appreciate it.
Speaking of which, I finished up my tattoo yesterday. Yes, there is a correlation to the sex talk. And if you've never had a tattoo, if you've never gotten a tattoo, being in a tattoo shop is very similar to like old school barber shops, beauty salons. Like you talk, right? Anything is fair game. And yesterday when I'm sitting in there getting a tattoo, there's a lady in there. She's working with someone else, and that's what they were talking about. Like they talked about the STDs they had, how promiscuous they were, abortions, like literally everything was on the table, just having a good time. Um, I'm just curious, like, what do you guys feel like when you're out in public in that type of surroundings, no matter where it is? Like, have you ever felt that free to have that conversation?
I don't think so. I mean, if it's a conversation I know that's never going to get out, like, worry about it. If it feels comfortable enough, sure. But I don't. There's only a few people I'd be comfortable talking to.
Here you go.
Like so, like that.
Yeah, I keep. I think there's certain things like we'll joke. I make a joke. I mean, yes, I have. We're married. We have kids. But yeah, so I have no problem with coach telling me, yeah, I had sex before I showed up today because damn right, I'm not going to see my back in training camp. I'm not going to see her for a week. So I'm there. Stuff like that's fine. If I had STDs and things like that, I'm not going to share because I think that's and sharing it with like you don't know me.
Yeah.
You're talking. Either you're trying to make a point or make your. I don't know. I don't know a lot of people who are that more than happy because he's talked about his wife farting during oral sex. So I don't think he has a problem with that. I think his boundaries are a little wide.
Yeah, I mean, I see. I'm weird though. At least I consider myself weird. I have issues just with PDA. Period. Like I don't like doing it. I don't like seeing it. And it's not that I'm against it or anything. It's yeah, that's just between you and that person. Why are you making it public for everyone else? I
Yeah.
mean, but that's just how I feel. I may be the only one, or I guess old school feels the same way. But
Now the other side of it is I'm with my friends. Very few.
say that again.
When I'm with friends, my family, we're sitting around. You, me, Sarah, Ashton, Dino, all that kind of stuff. There's no boundary there.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, everything's on the table. We laugh, we joke, we talk. I mean, that doesn't bother me because those are the people I should be able to trust with that.
yeah. No, I 100% agree with that. It's yeah,
That's funny.
we're getting closer and closer. I'm actually I've been blessed. My wife, my angel, is still packing the last few things that we have, and she's like, "Yeah, go spend time on the podcast." And I'm like, "Well, thanks." Makes me feel bad at the same time, but I was like, "All right." So I'm pretty blessed.
Well,
And,
you haven't done anything, Chips.
well, still, it's kind of like if you're when you know there's something that needs to be done and you're not sitting there trying to help make sure that it gets done, that makes me feel bad.
Yeah, but can I offer one more thing?
Yeah.
So it's 10 of you moving, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the boss is now finishing the packing. I think I'd let her go ahead and be general on the other 8, and they can do some shit, and you can have a little bit of fun because you kind of choreographed, and I think the amount of work you've done, yeah, I think that's why she's gifting that to you. Being married as well. I know my wife doesn't gift me with something like that unless I've earned it. So I think she's gifting you with that because you've done a lion's share of getting things done, and that's a good thing.
Well, I appreciate the compliment. I'm not gonna lift a gift horse
I'm
in the
not
mouth,
talking
but
about it. Let's keep going. I'm talking about. I have a feeling that's why. Is because she's recognizing your effort.
I would actually go the opposite side of that. I think she understands that if I was there trying to pack the cars, it would be really fucked up, and so she wants me out of the way. So that way, she's like, "Yeah, go play with your little friends. You'll be fine. I'll pack the car so it actually can get done." That's where I
Hey,
think it is.
I love that you just said that because Sarah's the exact opposite with that. She doesn't want me helping to do the packing of the boxes.
Yeah.
She's a box packing some bitch, man. She can pack boxes, boxes, boxes. She'll stack them up and then she's like, "Pod's outside. Here's your dolly. Go." Because
Nice.
I'm the one that loads. I load
Yeah.
everything. She does the packing. I'm the one that loads everything because she can't play Tetris like I can play Tetris.
And it's interesting. I took the ASVAB. I did well on that test. The reason why there's a correlation for those that don't know, the ASVAB actually tests your spatial coordination.
Yep.
I did really well on that. I played Tetris. I used to actually, and I won't say professionally because it wasn't professionally, but I played it like, how do I word it? Like religiously. Like I went to competitions and I played it. Like I was working to get better at it, and I actually really loved the game. However, when it comes to packing and moving things, my job is usually I'm the muscle. I'm to take it from one spot, put it right next to the car, and then she will finish it from there. That's my job. And there's something about her ability to be able to take this 5 pound bag and shove 20 pounds into it and make it look really good.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the dynamic of our house, and we've been married so long, and actually this wasn't even a problem the first time we ever moved, but like we've just recognized that's what our roles are. And so when it is my job to move everything out, I don't say a word. I pack everything on my back. I'm the pack mule that hauls it in and the jackass that hauls it out. That's my job. And she has no problems. She loves cleaning. I get out of her way when she's cleaning. That's like her. That is her relaxation time when I'm like listening to music on the podcast, playing a video game. That's my relaxation. Hers is literally cleaning. And then she loves packing. I we all have our little things, I guess.
Well, it's like you're the path mule, and I always had that joke with Chase. Why are you the one that always has to carry everything out? She always makes me mad.
Well, I mean, I think that brings us like that. Speaking of underrated, like, what would you say? I mean, I don't know if it'd be underrated, but what's the one thing during moving that you just absolutely can't stand? You'll give that up no matter what it is.
Mm.
You said for while moving or packing?
Either one, like it could be packing. Like I was thinking during the whole moving process, what's that one job that you're like, nope, I don't want to touch that.
I don't think it's the job. I think it's the part of when I start like organizing things to pack it up and go. I have to like take everything out of like baskets and stuff or organizers, and then someone will see that it's something really old that I shouldn't have, like that needs to be thrown out that I really like and enjoy, and I just like I want to keep that. But it's like now it's a conversation that could be an argument, and it's like that's something that's mine. I want to keep it. Let's move on.
So Frozen, real quick before Old School jumps in, because I know he's going to say something, but I want to follow up on that real quick. And Frozen, this is, like I said, fool me once. Be as candid as you feel comfortable. Would you consider yourself like a hoarder?
No, I don't think so because I've come to points where I'm like, oh yeah, I don't really ever see myself use that ever again. Like it's something that I held on to for a use, but now it's like not needed, so I can go. But like if things that are nostalgic, like the thing that I think that came to mind was I have really old casts that I had my broken arm when I was like 10 or something, and I have that in like a little chest in our outside closet, and it's like, why do you still have that? Well, I've held on to it for so long, I might as well keep holding on to it. It's a memory, I like that thing that takes me back to that time. I mean, as yeah, that's just it.
Go ahead, Old
Man,
School.
I'm wholeheartedly with you on that one. Because I'll get rid of stuff. We threw a boatload away, and we'll probably continue as we go through it again. We'll throw more. But there are certain things that I absolutely will not get rid of. My Atari, my baseball card. Some of these things I've had, they're just nostalgic. They hold memories for me. I used to take my baseball cards on a skateboard to my friend's house when we would have major sessions.
I mean, if you don't hold on to those kind of things, like you lose a part of yourself, and you aren't able to like enjoy those parts of your life that you remember. I mean, obviously, you can have those memories, but like memories fade, and they'll only come back by the spark of those items that remind you of those times.
Yeah, we went through, and my wife said, "We'll go through them." And I spent like 4 hours going through my baseball cards, and I boxed them all back. She goes, "You can't get rid of anything." I said, "No, I just relived my childhood for 4 hours, and it was awesome."
There you go.
And it's interesting you guys say that because I'm kind of like you, but I would say probably not. I'll give you a story. Like even as we're going through this packing right now, um, when I was a kid, I was in the eighth grade. I ended up, I was a snot nosed little brat. Like, I was always in fights. I was horrible, but I was a great student in school, meaning I was good in the classes when it came to academics. But most of the time, I was suspended because of all the stupid stuff I did. Now, that year, there was the award ceremony, and a couple of my teachers kept coming up to me and they're like, "Hey, you're going to be at the award ceremony tonight, right?" And I was like, "No." Few reasons why. My my parents were nowhere around. I didn't think I was winning an award, and I had better things to do at that particular time. But pick you up after you're done. Just let me know. I'm like, okay, fine. So I go to this, and there's all these different categories. I win almost every award for the male student. The only one I didn't win was male student of the year, which obvious reasons. Again, I said I was suspended all the time, but I won everything else academically. I still have every one of those plaques. I don't want them. I don't need them. I don't care about them. I remember the story. I enjoy the story. I tell the story, but my wife will not let me get rid of them. So we have hauled them around from Nevada to Washington and now Ohio for stupid little awards that are never out of the box. They don't hang on the walls. You never really see them. and yet I still have to keep them. So for me, as much as I understand what you guys are saying, mine is my tattoos. I look down at my tattoos, so when I've lost my mind, I'm hoping I can look at them and go, I remember that, and how much that meant to me. So that's why I said, like, I'm close to what you guys are saying. I just have a difference to it. And even real quick, and I'll let you guys jump in. Frozen, like, when I asked you about being a hoarder, it was more like me when it comes to computer equipment. Oh, I hoard everything. I still have old stuff from like literally almost 15, 20 years ago that I hold on to because I'm like, hey, I might need this. No, I will never need that again for a computer because it doesn't exist anymore. But I will hoard that. But I story to you guys on that. I appreciate you guys listening.
I have RCA cords that
Yeah.
I've held on to just in case I get something and I need it.
We just
Yeah, I think the
just
problem is I've gaslit myself into thinking that I need all these cords, and
yep.
I'll end up actually being able to use them, and then I'll be happy that I held on to
Yep.
all these little things, and I'll be like, well, they actually work by holding on to all of them, and then
Yep.
they ask me, oh, why do you have all these cords? Like, well, do you remember the other month when you guys needed a cord, and I actually had that cord because I held on to it? There you go. That's why I have all these cords.
To give you guys a further hint,
I save all of them, man, and
we just gave out, like literally donated a 1978 Chevrolet Chilton manual. I don't even think they make those manuals anymore, do they? I didn't even own a car in 19. I wasn't even alive in 1978. Oh.
I have a VW owner's manual, not an owner's manual, but it's a VW mechanic's manual that I've kept because the thing's worth like $200.
Really?
Now,
merchants out there want to scan the whole page, like every page, probably want to preserve it or something.
Problem.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the funny thing is with that, somebody made this point to me, is my wife and I've got, I don't know, $70,000 worth of cars parked in the driveway, but the garage, you've got to make sure the garage door's shut because the $4,000 worth of shit that we have stacked in the garage is so important that we keep it away from everybody else.
Yes.
Never understood that. You'll park
yes.
$80,000 worth of cars outside your house, but my God, those pictures my daughter drew, no one better ever talked.
Yep. Yeah, I still have
and
my.
That's what's funny about people, George.
Oh.
So,
yeah, and I was gonna say, I still have pictures that my 22-year-old drew in kindergarten. And like, why? And then and it's like locked in a safe. Like that's more important than, like you said, the $80,000 worth of vehicles sitting outside. It's funny how we hold on to those types of things.
yeah, well, I've got my daughter. Katie's turkey. Yeah, Katie's. I'll never get another turkey made by Katie in preschool.
Yes. Yes.
But I can get a new car. I just proved that today. But I can't get another one of those. I can't get the card that the girls sent me telling me how much they love me when they were 7 and 8.
Yeah.
But I can get the other shit. That other stuff I'm not worried about. But those things, we have like 2 boxes of shit that's just from when they were kids.
Yep.
And those will never go anywhere but with us.
Yeah. And it's not even that you like look at them often or anything. It's just that you know they're there and you feel, I guess, safe. Like it really does just make you feel good knowing that it's.
I can't wait to share them.
Ah.
Yeah. And I want to share them with my grandkids. I want to be able to show my grandkids this whole model I did when she was a little kid.
Yeah. True. You and I have we disagree on that a little bit, but I do understand what you're talking about. All right, so what's our next underrated?
You don't want grandkids?
Yeah, still don't want grandkids. I've thought about it many times. Yeah, still don't want them. I'm good with that.
You know, I'm trying to think about underrated. My thing is, what's that?
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, I know lots of people still laugh at me and stuff, but I'm good with it.
So my next question for you is, what's the most underrated comfort food in your opinion?
Ooh. Okay, now This answer is this is going to be completely different between the three of us. I know that for a fact because one, Frozen, if I'm correct, you've mainly been in the
Age
Pacific
plays a difference.
Northwest. Age is definitely going to play a difference, but I think that the areas that you're from. So
Yeah, I
like
don't.
for well, like for example, a lot of people are probably going to go with that maybe like macaroni cheese, that mashed potatoes, like meatloaf, like I can see those types of things being used for comfort food. But I'm more of like I'm so used to the southern food that that's where I go and I start thinking immediately when I think comfort food. Not that mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese isn't there, but I'm talking like I really do miss collard greens, jambalaya. Like you give me a nice bowl of jambalaya and I just sit there and relax. Everything comes off my shoulders. I don't think about anything but enjoying every single bite of what I've got. You guys?
Mhm.
I think the
Yeah.
only thing I can think of is my mom would make a bagel with cream cheese and a bunch of cheese on it. Put it in the oven, and it's just amazing.
Nice.
I like that. I'll tell you, mine comes from two things. Chase talked about being from the South. I've grown up in the Southwest United States, whether it be California or living in Arizona.
Yep.
So salsa slash chili, things like that I've grown up with and learned how to make from people.
Yep.
That's a comfort food just because of the memories and the experiences and the people who I've dealt with.
Yeah.
But there's another category of in our family, our number one comfort food is biscuits and gravy. And I make biscuits and gravy, and we sit down, and that's our family deal. And my wife even said it. She asked her what our family smell. Walk into your house. What's the number one smell that means you're home? My wife said sausage cooking because that always means biscuits and gravy.
Oh yeah,
I would also throw in
waking
like
up
Salisbury
in a
steak.
tent village with a bunch of Boy Scouts and smelling all those. Mm,
I think he's getting a little more lag because he's outside again.
Yep.
oh, is he had a delay?
Yeah. So we got that slight delay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But that's the funniest thing is I think you got different categories of comfort food. And like Chase said, you both said, you talk about something mom did.
Mm.
I think that family aspect is huge when you're talking about comfort food.
Yeah.
And Chase, if you're talking, we are not hearing much of anything right now.
No, you're 100% correct. There's definitely a delay that's come back a little bit, so I'm trying to work on that. So
Yeah,
yeah, keep it going.
You're good. I had a teacher. It's funny you talk about this. She made us bring comfort food to our ethnic minority lit class, and we had a vast group of people, different variants and ages. I think the oldest person was a 47-year-old mom, and then we had brand new freshmen that were in that class. And she made us to start off so we could deal with, start really talking about the differences of people's families. Bring us a comfort food for family. And at that point, when I was a kid, we had this stupid dip we used to make, and it was awesome, but it was a family thing. She brought Kentucky Fried Chicken coleslaw, and we all kind of laughed. She goes, "Why are you laughing?" We're like, "Well, that's not like a family recipe." She goes, "No, but my family, anytime we celebrated, we didn't have a lot of money, and we would go get Kentucky Fried Chicken coleslaw and add it to dinner, and that was like the best thing that our family could ever do." So again, those comfort food things, man, they're tied to your soul sometimes. And that it's funny because I told her, I said, "So glad you brought that." Because I remember being a little kid, we had a certain place we would go to, certain places for certain things when I was a kid, and it was huge.
Yeah.
That was big time, and thought it was funny that hers happened to be Kentucky Fried Chicken coleslaw.
It's funny you should mention that. Like, obviously, what my favorite comfort food or underrated comfort food, either way, is definitely different than I think my family's. If I had to guess for my family and I asked them, hey, what is that food that puts you back to family? I'm willing to bet they would all go dip because I make this almost, it's not quite a seven layer. It's similar to one, and I make this dip, and just the family loves it. They ask for it almost all the time. Just depends on, kind of how we were raised and where we're from and what it means to us. As far as underrated comfort
Yeah,
food,
I definitely like just a hot chocolate, like when it's like
oh,
cold, rainy, or snowy outside. It's just that just hits the spot.
hot chocolate, that's good. I like that. Hot chocolate is definitely one
I
like
have introduced Chase. It's actually really good.
I'm on keto, so I can no longer have hot chocolate. So every now and then during the Christmas time, um, I I got the urge for some hot chocolate because it was so hard to not go or to go without it, I should say. And but yeah, hot chocolate definitely a good one. Love that, especially if you spice it up a little bit.
And we went with Swiss Miss sugar-free hot chocolate, and it was fantastic.
Yeah. I'm still trying to think what would be my underrated
Oh,
comfort food
my
though.
goodness.
Right.
My underrated comfort food is peanut butter cookies, fresh out of the
Oh,
oven.
okay. On it, okay. I will give you. Here's the one I would say
Because,
probably be underrated for me. Peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
oh, that's not underrated.
Oh, that's
That's
good.
the greatest on the planet.
Just going with the combination. It's just genius.
Oh, you know, smell peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and everybody wants one.
Oh yeah.
For the most part, we
Oh, yeah.
we have someone in the house that's actually allergic to the peanut butter, so we really can't have it too often anymore. But so I think that's why it's probably underrated to me. Like
I
I've
laugh at
missed them.
those people because I mean,
What would you say is what makes you feel just all warm inside?
Oh, how is the ramen prepared? Microwave on stove top. How are we doing?
She says microwave.
oh, yeah, I'm a stovetop guy.
Oh, I'm stovetop,
Yeah.
100%.
Like the
You
difference between like either you have it all absorbed,
what's
right?
that?
You gotta have it either absorbed or have all of the water dissipate.
My
I
wife
like
just
to do
said
it till
dog
the water
food, so
dissipates and it's a little sticky.
Right, right.
Underrated.
all right. I don't think she's having the same talk we are, though.
My daughter, my young and my daughter, her favorite comfort food is mom salsa, chips and salsa.
I just had her mom's salsa. It's
So
really
I
good.
can answer that for her.
Well, like I said, I was pretty sure that a majority of them would have
But
said.
that's it.
I thought she was gonna say like the dip. I really did. I'm a bit surprised she went with ramen, but I'm now I know I need to stock the house more with ramen.
It's so expensive to stock your house with ramen.
Well, maybe. I have a Korean
All
family
right, so
member.
now I've got another one for you, Chase, and I'm going to give you mine. I'm going to hold off on mine to see if anybody
All right.
a Korean family.
Yeah, we have rice and ramen like everywhere.
No, I got your next topic here. Most underrated.
The delay.
I know the delay's bad, isn't it?
It is.
I feel bad.
Don't keep going.
Okay, most underrated. And I'll say most underrated '80s song. Not '90s, not '70s, but
Ooh.
most underrated because everyone '80s was a fun generation. You know, everybody's got their sweet '80s song, and I have to categorically disagree with that.
Ooh, okay, so Man, that's gonna be tough. So I'm gonna lay out a few songs that without a doubt jump to mind as you were talking about that. Like for example, for me, 80s, I go in excess. I start thinking them. I start thinking UB40. I start thinking Roxette. And I know those aren't songs; those are groups and bands and whatnot. But I can picture so many of their songs that just jump out at me that I think I play around my house and everyone goes, "Oh God, he's doing that again." He likes that song, but for me, it's like I just I get in that mood, in that man. I just feel good when I hear some of those. So I'm gonna think about it because I know the delay is kicking in. So I'm gonna think while I hear Frozen and what he's thinking.
You think I had something from the 80s? I was super young. No, I don't think I'd have anything because if it's underrated, I probably shouldn't know, you know?
Well, the funny thing is he brought up Roxette, and I want to say Roxette. Yeah, you're right. They did. Their origin was mid '80s.
Yes.
I look at them as more of a '90s band,
No,
along
that's
with
listen here,
because
pretty
I was
woman.
finished when I
The
finished high
only
school.
reason why
Everyone said
you
it was
think
1992.
Roxette was the 90s is because of Pretty Woman. That they, like you said, they were mid 80s. So yeah, but I understand that a lot of people are gonna think like some of those bands became more popular during that time. I mean, look at like Guns N' Roses, who comes popular late 80s, early 90s. So yeah, 100% I could see that. That's why I'm having trouble. I got to think of the right song. Underrated 80s. Ooh, I got to be careful on that. I am a huge fan. Oh, you know what?
I was fine. The sign thing again.
The Sign,
Go
Ace of
ahead.
Base. Here's the one I'm gonna say right now. You know what? I don't even have to think about it anymore.
No,
Other than
oh yeah, see,
I have to make sure that this was 80s. Alana, oh man, Alana Miles, Black Velvet. Underrated song. Not enough people freaking appreciate that. And I hate Elvis, and I said it here on the podcast.
wow, you just lost your.
I
Let me see,
just,
a lot of miles. Let me just see.
I just lost all my.
Released 1989.
Yeah, 89,
Released
barely in,
1981.
barely in.
My number one underrated '80s song, and everyone's like, "It's not underrated." No, it is underrated because it takes "Don't Stop Believing," grabs it by the nuts, and takes his lunch money. Okay, is "Africa" by Toto.
That so hold on, how I think I'm confused. If Africa's like really enjoyed and loved by a lot of people, how could that be underrated?
Because people took constant consequences. No, by Toto.
Yeah.
I really do. Not a lot of people are like, oh no, man, it's got to be Journey. No. I think Toto's probably the most underrated band. They were awesome. And think of their lyrics. Like, Don't Stop Believing it's a great song, but when you think about the lyrics from Africa, sure as Kilimanjaro rises like a leprous above the Serengeti. You don't get lyrics like that anymore. It's a fantastically well done song. And it just stands the test of time.
I just thought of another 80s song that when it came on like over the radio, I would just start singing it. Couldn't necessarily tell you why other than I love the beat, and that is Men Down Under, um, or sorry, Men at Work, Down Under. Now, another song I'm thinking of right now, I would say probably underrated, and you'll have to check it for me because I'm not 100% sure it's 80s, but I feel like it is. Starship Troop came off of the movie soundtrack Mannequin. I'll think of the name of the song in a minute. Um, What is
Now
it?
look in here, it's like it. See if talk that I is too good to be true. They say we're crazy. That's all they know. Put your hand in mine, baby, and don't ever let go.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
Yep, that's it. That's it exactly. Isn't that 80s? I love that song.
That's definitely 80s. Mine was photographed by Def Leppard, wasn't it?
Oh, Photograph by Def Leppard. Definitely underrated. Hey, and while we're on that one, Love Bites also.
Oh, yeah. Def Leppard was, see, he's a Def Leppard fan. My sister was a Berlin fan. And Photograph, not Photograph, but Rock of Ages
Yep.
and Metro. They
Yep.
was battling for the song of the night on our local radio station. And we would talk shit. If Rock of Ages got it, I would talk shit. If Metro by Berlin. But when I think about it, those are two amazing 80s songs that not enough people remember.
I'm with you. Rock of Ages all the way.
Oh, Rock of Ages. What a song.
Now, do you put like White Snake also underrated?
I'm trying to think. You're going to laugh, man. Whitesnake had, I don't know. To me, Whitesnake was a one hit wonder. I wasn't a fan of Whitesnake. I
Oh,
was more of a Scorpion type guy, that kind of music.
okay. Scorpion's good,
Yeah.
but I would say Whitesnake was a bit underrated only because they mainly knew Whitesnake because of uh uh Tawny Katane.
Oh, yeah. 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 I totally agree with that. My other one is Warrant. I think not a lot
Yeah.
of people liked Warrant. And Warrant had some really good songs.
Okay, can you give me Jukebox Hero? Underrated.
Everybody knows Warrant for Cherry Pie, but they got some other good stuff. Jukebox Hero? I don't know. I think that falls under classic
So, oh,
for
okay.
me.
Okay. So
Because
what
most people, even like my daughter, I think
I get you. I get you. Speaking of someone like Warrant, yes, everybody knows Cherry Pie. How about a little Skid Row? Oh man, I could listen to Skid Row for a long time.
oh, Skid Row, 18 and Life.
18 and Life, yes, love it. Man, I gotta do some looking
No,
up. I gotta think some
yeah,
over.
shit. Yeah, Cherry Pie was its own. And you know what's funny? Warrant, 1990s, when Cherry Pie and I Saw Red, Knuckle Tom's Cabin, and all that. Heaven was their only 80s song, really. And Down Boys. Remember Down Boys?
I do. I do indeed.
That album, Dirty Rotten Filthy Stink. Hey, that Dirty Rotten Filthy Stinking Rich album was pretty good.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm actually
God
going
dang.
through. I'm trying to think of some other songs for the 80s that would have been. And Frozen, I know you got the internet over there. You may not have remembered a few songs. Go look that up. What about Voices of Babylon by the Outfield?
By who?
Outfield.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Wow.
you did mention Toto,
Oh,
Stranger
here's
in
a good one.
Town.
Oh, man, this is a good one. Money for Nothing by Dire Straits.
Oh, but I mean, I think for a while I put that up there
Yeah,
with
that was on
Billy
MTV.
Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire. Speaking of
Yeah,
speaking of We Didn't Start
that's
the
a
Fire,
generational song.
you heard that it's
I think obviously fan made the newer version that somebody made it for that.
yeah, it's actually not fan made. I think it
Wait,
was the Jonas Brothers or something like that.
say again, Frozen?
I'll see if I can find it, but it's somebody made like a newer gener. Oh, is this real?
Underrated 80s song you can think of.
Hey, Chase, Dancing with Myself by Billy Idol.
Again, it's so hard to say that's underrated, but then again, I like, yeah, it's a great song to you and me. Everyone else would have played a million other songs before that.
Oh yeah, I love that. Well, the funny thing about that one is that one goes hand in hand with Sheba.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about the same thing. So.
What'd you say?
So it looks like it's a song made by Fall Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy.
It's just a newer version of We Didn't Start the Fire.
So
Oh yeah, I bet they did, and they made it for the 90s,
yep.
2000 kids. I saw that.
So Old Dog just said what again? Eyes Without a Face. Underrated 80s song.
Yeah, no, that's definitely.
All right, what other ones we
I would
got?
definitely count that. I like Love Shack by the.
No way. You cannot put Love Shack up in underrated. Love Shack is still played today.
It's not one of the first ones you go to. It's not one of the first ones you go to.
Rock Lobster.
Yeah, Rock Lobster would be more underrated than Love Shack.
Okay, so I'm just going to say this. If you see a painted sign, and if you see a painted sign at the side of the road, that means 15 miles to the Love Shack.
You got Old Dog singing over here.
Love Shack, baby. I got me a Chrysler. It's as big as a whale. It's about to set.
Hey man, that's one of the ones I like to sing. I'm gonna sing with
Here you go.
Linda at
I'll give you one more underrated song, and this will be the last one. This is absolutely, I love this song, and most people couldn't even tell you who sung it. Cry Little Sister. Off of the Lost Boys soundtrack.
Oh, that's Terrence.
Now,
Terrence Trent D'Arby did one of those songs.
Yeah, underrated.
Cry Little Sister.
Cry Little Sister.
That was Dan.
All right. Yeah. That's the one I'm going to end on. I think Cry Little Sister, Alana Miles, Black Velvet, two of my underrateds in the 80s.
With that little voice.
Interesting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to take just a moment. I know I got a little bit of delay. I'm going to try to fix that. I am going to put us... I'm going to put us on a small little break. Mainly, I'm going to go to the restroom and then see if I can fix a little bit of this delay. But stick with us. Again, it's going to be a small break. We're going to be right back at you. This is Fool Me Once with OldSchoolFatMan, Calypso, our very special guest / co-host, Frozen Fire Sword. Give us a little bit. We're going to be right back. Welcome back, everybody. It is Fool Me Once with your host, OldSchoolFatMan, and Calypso. Our very special co-host guest is Frozen Fire Sword. Guys, we're all back. Right before we left, we were talking about underrated 80s song. Do we have more to add to that?
Man, I had a whole list of stuff to add to that, but I figured I'd let it go.
No, that's a 2000 song.
No, I'm saying I found a whole bunch. I was looking for some, and I was like, yeah. I found some really good ones, Chase.
Like what? What do you got?
Hazy Shade of Winter.
Ooh.
Hazy Shade of Winter.
Like that. I haven't heard that song in a while, actually.
Yeah, Hazy Shade of Winter was impressive.
Yeah.
Moni Moni, of course.
I mean,
I guess that's what we.
Come on, Billy Idol, I would probably say is pretty underrated.
We're just talking songs now, not artists.
Well, yeah, but if you're gonna put in Money Money, then there's a few other songs you could add to that.
David Bowie.
Definitely, I understand that. Not an underrated artist, but yes, I would agree with that song.
Yeah. Like The Girl Is Mine is another underrated song from two of the most famous artists on the planet.
Yes.
And Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Underrated song.
I'd also say The Boy Is Mine is also underrated, but not the 80s.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some underrated songs from not in the 80s to get some of the kids around here. You know, the youngins who are like, I'm not an 80s guy.
Fair. Like, if
But
we...
some of the underrated songs, like,
Working on the what?
One Headlight by the Wallflowers.
Ooh, great song. Great song.
Great song. People don't. That's not one they throw out when they think 90s music, but God. And son of a all-time great musician.
Yep.
Yeah. Jacob Dylan, son of Bob Dylan.
Let's see. What else we got here?
Breakfast at Tiffany's by Deep Blue something.
I'm a huge fan. Love Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Great song. What about Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer?
Okay, if you're gonna go Kiss Me, I'd also like to put it what was the name of that song? Give me a moment. I gotta think. Oh man, what was the name of that song? Dang it. It's something about the rain. Give me a moment. I'm gonna think about. I gotta get the name of the song. Not Blame It on the Rain. That, and I think that was 80s.
Blame it on the rain.
Hold on. I'm gonna find it. Gonna find it. Kiss the Rain. Kiss the Rain.
Kiss the Rain. Who sang that?
Billy Myers. Kiss the Rain by Billy Myers. I play that song.
I'm looking it up right now, buddy. I was looking for the Element song here a while ago, so.
I'm just curious. I gotta think. Notorious.
Yes.
You've heard Kiss the Rain, right? By Billy Myers. Wouldn't by chance know when that came out, do you? See, I can't remember when that came out. I think that's 90s, though.
Can you hear that?
A little bit, barely. Ah, yes. It was released in 97. Yes. It works. Kiss the Rain by Billy Myers, definitely underrated.
Interesting. 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 I'm looking at some of these other ones. People put these songs, and I'm like, I don't even remember that song, buddy. I keep wanting to say "Need You Tonight" by
Ooh.
NXS.
I am, again, I told you, I'm a huge fan of NXS. To be able to go 80s, 90s like that, I'm with you.
But here's my deal. And see, "Need You Tonight" was an '80s song, but you can't do "Need You Tonight" without the little song that followed it.
Yep.
Hallucinate, desegregate, mediate, alleviate, try not to hate, love your mate, don't suffocate on your own hate, designate your lover's fate, a one world state as human free, the number 8, a white black state, a gentle trait, a broken crate, a heavy weight that's just too late, like pretty Kate has sex on 8 and devastate. Appreciate. Oh yeah, see, I love that song.
I'm with you, man. I was a huge fan of NXS.
80s, man.
You gotta hear "Kiss the Rain" though. You gotta hear "Kiss the Rain." You
No,
gotta.
I did. I listened to it. That's what I had playing. That's why I asked if you could hear it.
Oh, okay, yeah, we really couldn't hear it. So, what did you think?
Because I had it playing. No, it's a good song. I remember it.
All right, man. I've got this list.
Yeah, I'm going to come up with a wild one out here and make sure he's right.
Oh, there you go.
I keep going late 80s.
I love this. How about
Buddy, I love you. You're a very good boy.
"Hey Man,
Like
Nice Shot"? Barry, what's up, Barry? I'm gonna go with another underrated song, "Hey Man,
there
Nice Shot."
Go. Barry and Fiona beating each other up because they can't go fight. Hey man, what?
"Hey Man, Nice Shot." A lot of people believe that that song was based off of Kurt Cobain shooting himself. You got to play that song. Great song.
By Filter. Really?
That's a lot of the rumor. That's what a lot of people believed in.
That he wrote this about Kurt Cobain shooting himself.
Yep. Either way, I just think it's a good song. Ooh. There's another good one. There's got to be see, again, some of these I'm looking at, I'm like, I don't know if they're underrated because they had such great radio play.
I think this other one I'm thinking of is still 80s too, damn it. Yeah, it is. I gotta remember, I started high school in the early 80s.
I mean, oh.
Dang, all of them are 80s for me. I guess I was thinking I Used to Love Her by GNR.
Oh, absolutely.
Love that song.
And see, like for me, I almost think like, and you and I've had this conversation before, Pearl Jam and Jeremy. I want to put that in underrated, but it got so much.
I look at Jeremy as being like that's part of their canon. I mean, that's canon. If we're gonna say anything is canon, Jeremy's canon.
Yeah. Also could go with like Glycerin. Now,
Rooster by Alice in Chains.
I do like Rooster. I don't think it got enough credit. Again, another song that got, I think, a lot of radio play, but I still think is underrated. REM's "Losing My Religion."
Oh yeah, totally agree.
One of my wife's
You know
favorite
another one,
songs.
man? But that's never mind. That's too gone. Never mind.
One of my wife's favorite songs, "Bittersweet Symphony."
Oh yeah. And it's funny because I was just gonna bring up "Better Man" by Pearl Jam.
Yep.
I don't see Better Man as being canon for Pearl Jam. You're right,
Oh,
Jeremy. That's canon. Like, you bring up Pearl Jam, you're bringing up that song.
but again, I'm just like I don't know. There are a few other songs I think that would be brought up if it was Pearl Jam. I don't know. I just don't think people really got it enough.
What a great song. Sex type thing by the Stone Temple Pilots.
Now, how do you feel about like "Nothing Compares to You"?
I hated that song.
So definitely at best could be underrated for you, right?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't like her. She was just weird.
A lot of people,
You know,
I've heard a
it's a
lot of
great
people say.
song. I think airplay comes down to it. Because
Yeah.
my God, nothing compared. You got played so freaking much. It's been 7 hours, 15 days since my love.
Oh,
Yeah, I gotta start out.
can I go "Foolish Games" by Jewel?
That's a good one. People give Jewel a raw deal because of her summer teeth, man. They need to get off of it.
I would agree with that. Oh, I can't believe I didn't think of this. "I'll Be There for You." 90s.
Oh, good God. I'm not.
You talking Boys to Men?
No, "I'll Be There for You" Bon Jovi.
Oh. Oh, I was thinking right now, the next one I was saying was I'll Remember You.
Oh yeah.
I'll remember you.
I
Remember
think so.
yesterday.
Oh,
Walking hand in
my
hand.
monitor, I think.
Love letters in the sand. I'll remember
No.
you. That's a bop right there, boy.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll put it in toolbox.
Look at me using the way the kids speak. That's a
Ah.
bop. Now, see, here's one they said was underrated, and I disagree because I think it's canon for Nirvana. It's "Come as You Are."
I don't know. I don't think I would say is canon for that.
Oh,
Try this. Sarah McLachlan, "Angel."
let me look it up. Gotta listen to it now.
I think it's called "Angel." Yeah. And it was from the soundtrack "City of Angels."
Yes. I can't sing like that.
Yeah.
Holy Moses.
I don't know. Oh, in the arms of an angel.
I thought it was called "Angel."
I'm looking up right now, trying to find it.
I got one more.
Oh, you're right.
It is called "Angel."
You're right.
Sweet. I got another underrated artist with a song here in a moment after you're done with that.
Okay, buddy. Now, you got me on "City of Angels." "Feeling Love" by Paula Cole.
Oh,
That is an underrated damn.
that's an underrated song. You ready to go? I might give you underrated artist with their song. Absolutely. Here we go. "Stay, I Missed You," Lisa Loeb.
Oh, that's a good tune.
Yeah.
I missed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Mike, I'm telling you what, that'd be a good karaoke song for an older crowd.
Yeah.
Because the older crowd's going to totally get into that.
90s. Yeah, we're doing all 90s. Oh, which one do you have though? Oh, Old Dog said Angel Eyes, but it's 89. Jeff Healy. Jeff Healy Band, Angel Eyes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to switch gears on your ass. Just a second here.
All right.
Yeah, right now I'm switching gears, buddy.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
This is a 90s country song that you and I both love, and I do feel it's underrated because not a lot of people like it. Soul by John Michael Montgomery.
Wait a minute. A lot of people don't like that song?
Oh my God, not a lot of people do.
Sold by John
Not a
Michael
lot of
Montgomery.
people know it.
Then I will definitely agree that, yes, that would be underrated.
Yeah, because not a lot of people know it.
Should we talk like 90s country? Because now that's a whole can of worms, man.
Oh, honey, I'm looking at it right now, man. Maybe it was Memphis by Pam Tillis.
Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to go Pam Tillis, you better shake that sugar tree.
Walk Away Joe by Trisha Yearwood.
Billy the Kid by Billy Dean.
There you go. Well, here, not underrated. Definitely an artist who's overrated. But the song is not underrated. The song is canon, Achy Breaky Heart.
Okay. Artist, I agree with, definitely overrated. Achy Breaky Heart, definitely overrated. But I will say Some Gave All, underrated.
Some Gave All's a good song. Oh, here you go. Deanna Carter, Strawberry Wine.
No way, you're not going to convince me that's underrated.
See, and again, I don't feel. I go to karaoke. Gal sang Strawberry Wine, we were loving it. There was only like 4 of us that knew the song.
Oh.
And I was like, this is a great song. When did this come out? We're like, look at 90s country, people. What you listen to? What are you people doing with your life?
That is tough. That is tough.
Here you go, Calypso. I'm going to mention one. Artist is definitely not underrated. She's the bomb. This song is definitely not underrated. But I just have to mention it because I'm talking a little 90s country. Fancy by Reba McEntire.
Yeah, I would say you're 100% correct. Definitely, she's not overrated, but no, that woman is magnificent. That song definitely not. I can't imagine that being underrated. Although now that song is hated by today's youth, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, and the other song of hers that is underrated, I feel, is the Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia.
Interesting. I would say more underrated would have been like Why Haven't I Heard From You, or even the duet she did with Vince Gill than The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. The Heart Won't Lie.
Oh, see, I like these. I see all these things in karaoke, and I'm just amazed that people don't know these songs.
Yeah. Oh, how about Is There Life Out There? You talk Reba McEntire. Reba McEntire. Is There Life Out There? Oh my God, that song is so emotional.
All of them are. Yeah, man, let me be honest with you. When I listen to Fancy, when she says, I may have been born just playing my trash, but Fancy was my name.
Yep.
I get teary-eyed, man, because it's like, you may think I'm the shit, but damn it,
Oh,
I know what I am, and I'm gonna get what I'm. Oh, that gets me every time.
I get you. And from that
Okay,
aspect,
now hang on. Hang on. I got another one for you. I got another one for you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I didn't have another one. I was just gonna say I get where you're coming from on that one. So yeah, it's hard because like you and me, we grew up with those songs, and so we hear them and we think about them like they're popular to us and they mean something to us. But when we look at an outside view of it and we compare it to what other people listen to, yeah, I could see why that would be considered. Tell you right now, I can answer this question without even thinking or looking about it. It is my number one film of all time. I can watch this on replay, and most people didn't even know it existed. And the time that it came out, it was most visually stunning. It involved an actor that people didn't even realize that he was that good. The actor is Robin Williams. The movie, What Dreams May Come. Underrated film. Absolutely, everyone needs to check it out and get over yourselves based off the graphics of today. Think back when it was there, and I'm telling you, if you watch that movie and let it into you, it will change you. It will open things for you that you may not even remotely come close to understanding. What dreams may come.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot that I could come up with, but it's like one of those questions. Like now I don't have any of the top 10. I don't Back to the Future trilogy. Like I know a lot of people that never ever watched those, and I'm like, come on, really?
Crazy that people. That drives me nuts that people have never done that.
Yeah.
How the hell do you not see that movie? I mean, really. But who the hell are you to not see that movie? It's just like, okay, I'm going to throw another one out there that I think is underrated. To me, it's the greatest movie of all time. But it's amazing to me how many people don't even know it, and that's The Princess Bride.
True.
That's the yeah. I don't think I've seen that one from start to finish, but that's the one where he's got the sword, right? And the like.
He's got the princess, Andre the Giant's in it.
They make a remake first. Oh no.
No. No. So that one, see, Princess Bride, not a lot of people know. Go look Andre the Giant. It's got Carrie Ellis. It's
Yep.
got Robin Wright Penn. What a fantastic! It's got a Neil Montoya. What the hell? I can't think of his name from. Damn it! The hell's his name? The actor. He was in that dumbass FBI profiler show. Can't. No, I'm screwed.
While you're thinking about that, I'll give you I can think of two more movies. One of them, again, in my top 5 movies of all time. It's actually my fifth. I think people did not like this movie based because of A, the topic, and B, it was an adaptation from a book. And I can tell you that Matthew McConaughey, Sandra Bullock, absolutely killed it, and that is A Time to Kill.
That's a great one. That's a great movie. That one actually held the book really well.
Yes, I thought it did, but I still think that so many people have not given what that the time. You and I have talked
And
about.
you know what's cool, having read the book, and how her character's name was Roark, and the way Matthew McConaughey says Roark is how I heard Jay Briggins saying it in the book while I was reading it. Will Roark,
Yeah.
and I totally heard him saying he was perfect as Jay Briggins. Oh my God, it's amazing.
100%. I'm gonna give you another. Here's my third one. Again, underrated film. Not in my top 5, but I definitely think it's underrated. And honestly, it was the movie that made me take Ashton Kutcher serious, and that is The Butterfly Effect.
Yeah, we were talking about that last podcast, right?
We were,
Yeah,
but I still think that is an
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely
we were.
underrated movie.
yeah. My wife loved it. What's the other? Okay, wait, Chicks, you're gonna have to help me here. Because it is a good movie, and I can't remember what it's called, and it is underrated. But it's the one that's got Kevin Bacon in it, and they would jump. Maybe it was Butterfoot, but they would jump in time,
It's
or they would jump in dreams. God dang, I'm
no
not sure.
Flatliners. It's Flatliners.
Flatliners.
Love that movie. Kiefer Sutherland. You got Pretty Woman herself.
Oh,
Yep. Hey, and the remake of Flatliners absolutely was bad. But the first one, man, that movie scared me when I was a kid. I was like, holy crap.
It was Final Destination, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Final Destination definitely would scare a few people.
I did not realize that they actually remade Flatliners.
They did. Don't waste your time.
Buddy, think of the cast. Hang on. Kiefer Sutherland, Julia Roberts, Kevin Bacon, Oliver Platt, Billy Baldwin.
Yep.
That's a damn good cast.
Hey, you know what that
Okay, I got one
movie
for you.
and A Time to Kill has in common? Which actor?
I just said his name.
Yes, you did.
Oliver Platt.
Oliver Platt. That man is amazing. And in fact, I'll give you a movie that he was in that I also consider underrated. Ready to Rumble. Yes, Ready to Rumble.
Oh. No, I was going to say, you're going to laugh. Three Musketeers. He carried that movie.
Yes, he did.
He carried that movie. This role was given to me by the Queen of America. There's no Queen of America. I would like you to prove it.
I'm going to bring out a little bit of a newer movie, but still 12 years old. I think super underrated. I mean, it was popular at the time, but people forgot about it. And it was supposed to get a sequel, I think. They might be working on it still, but Real Steel.
Real Steel.
Oh, really?
Robots that fight each other.
Yeah.
Wow. I may have to watch that then.
Oh yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Hugh Jackman does a great job. Just putting up the story of a boxer who now just operates the robots to do the fighting for him. And the story is so good.
Interesting. Okay, now I'll have to watch that.
Now, here's my thing. I don't think time period necessarily has to play a role. But I mean, Old School, you and I just sat down and watched a movie last night. And I would say probably underrated. I didn't even know the movie existed. Right? Wouldn't you say The Accountant?
What a movie.
Yeah.
Holy moly. Yeah. Yeah, The Accountant. You talk about being underrated. Not a lot of people even know that movie's out there, and it's a tremendous movie. It deals with a lot of things.
It does.
It deals with now. Oh my God, the fact that he's autistic and what a movie! What? It's a non sequitur, but we did talk about Julia Roberts a little bit, and one of my favorite Julia Roberts movies.
You don't get that movie.
Doesn't get a lot of credit is Aaron Brockovich.
Aaron Brockovich, I get where you're coming from. I think it's probably, if you had to name 5 Julia Roberts films, I think most people would get it. But I would say.
Now, that's a great point. Now, watch it. If I'm thinking Julia Roberts, number one, I think is Pretty Woman.
Absolutely.
That's the first movie I think of. Then I think of Notting Hill.
Okay.
Then I think of Flatliner.
Interesting.
Gosh, then is it Mystic Pizza? It's not Mystic Pizza, is it? She's in Mystic Pizza, wasn't she?
Yes. I figured you'd go Runaway Bride.
Yeah. No, because I didn't like that one.
Okay.
That wasn't one of my favorites of hers. My best friend's wedding.
Yes.
My best friend's wedding is another one of hers. But I would say Aaron Brockovich would come. You know, it's probably if I'm thinking Eat, Pray, Love always comes up with her.
See, funny to me, if you would have said, "Hey, name Julia Roberts films," Aaron Brockovich probably would have been either third or fourth out of my mouth.
Really?
Yep, I enjoyed that movie immensely.
Yeah, because okay. Oh, it was so good. And the other one I think that's the one I was thinking of is from the Pelican Brief.
Oh.
One that is
some clips, but